Hi, I'm Lindsay Nilsson. I'm a horticulturist here at Red Butte Garden. The Children's Garden is what we're going to be touring today, and so come on in. So every year we try to have a theme. This year our theme is pollen neighbors. So this year we're learning about pollinators and their homes. We like to keep it kind of low here because we like to tell people you're getting into the kids' space. But if you look back at the tree behind us, this is, lots of kids like to call it the monster tree. It's a blue Atlas cedar, been here since the garden has opened, and yeah, it's really pretty cool and monstery. So on my left is the beginning of what we call the snake maze. This is the snake head. You can see its head and its fangs. It's a rattlesnake, and so the water is its tongue. But kids get to walk through there and get swallowed by the snake, and they can come all the way through and follow this maze around. In here we've also got a new planting for us. It's the Rogers Red grape. This is a drought-tolerant grape, and the intention is that over time this will cover the whole structure, and kids can be in there, and once the grapes produce, they can munch on their way through. If we walk this way, this is the butterfly walk, so it gets just a little bit more wild. We've got some apple trees and fun things for the kids to harvest here. All the plants here are high nectar plants so that we can attract butterflies and bees. We get some pretty views of the city and into the water conservation garden here. This is another situation where we like to keep our tree kind of low to just let people know that this is a kid's space. We have apricot trees and other fruit trees. One of the most important plants for butterflies is the milkweed, and we've got a lot of different types of milkweed here. This one is probably the most common, the Asclepias speciosa, a really high nectar plant, but monarchs are specifically reliant on this plant. They use it as a nectar source, but also a place where they lay their eggs. So in this area, we're getting closer to some of the stuff that we're doing for our interpretation for the pollen neighbors theme. So up here, this is the moth bed. So it's all plants that either bloom at night or white flowering. And we talk, all the different signs here talk about our nighttime pollinators. Here we have our bird bed, which has a little nest that kids can get into. And on the other side, we've got our bee bed, and we're specifically talking about native bees. But you can see a lot of the mason bees are already using the home. Some of them are even capped off. Our lizards are all native Utah lizards, and kids love to come and hang out on those. It's also a place that is used for classes. This mulberry tree is a cute little spot that kids can climb under and have their little meetings. This year up here, this is our migratory butterfly bed. We just want it to look like an area that sort of catches the wind. We have our Asclepias speciosa, the milkweed, growing in here, and some high nectar plants for them. Up here is our fun corkscrew willow. that's just got a very beautiful shape and is very fun. And kids can actually climb over here and slide down the fireman pole over to the snake mouth again. Here we have our vine house that a lot of kids really love, climbing in here and having little picnics and things, but it's just a nice little shady spot. This is another apple tree and kids love climbing it. The sandboxes here. We call this bed, this is the Sprout House. It's a place where we do a lot of classes, summer camps and things like that. And this space here in the front, we call it our sensory bed. So it's planted with a lot of things that kids can either touch or smell, or has like cool seed pods like this poppy, very soft leaved things like the stachys lamb's ear it's called. Here we have our native sumac planted here, related to the poison sumacs, but this one actually you can eat the flowers and they taste a little bit like lemonade. So you see as we walk through, there's a lot of interpretive signage here that's part of our pollinators theme. This is the pond. It's got the wasps up there because we talk a lot about pollinating wasps in our interpretation. Cute little spot that you can sit and have a picnic. This area, it changes just a little bit in this area. This is interpreted just a little bit different. It's something that is normally, it was put together by Heidi Simper and Sarah Sandoval, who are part of our curation and programs teams. And it's all about ethnobotany. So in this area, we start talking about native plants and the ways that people use native plants over time. Again, it's kind of low, so you gotta get low. So this is an area where kids can come and learn about the ways that plants have been used in the past. There's a few things in here that we're really proud of. Kara Hastings, our grower, has done some amazing work. This is a Castanea, which a lot of people will know as Indian paintbrush. And it's a hemiparasitic, which means it gets a lot of its nutrients from another host plant. So in this case, it's on Butte gracilis. And I haven't seen it a lot in cultivation, and it's doing really well here, so we're really excited about that. And then another thing that she grew from cuttings from the desert is the Schiperdia rotundiflora, which is a high desert plant that I have not seen in cultivation. This is a baby. This is why we've got it in its little jail here, so people won't harass it too much. But we're really proud of that too. A lot of the plants here, all the plants here mostly are native, and the interpretation is talking a lot about also what our conservation department is doing. One of the coolest things that they have done recently is they helped rediscover and reintroduce a native potato. And so this is the Four Corners potato. And this is one of the only places that you can see this growing here in Salt Lake. And that's it. That's the whole children's garden. Thanks for coming along with me.